find that out. We're honestly just a group of guys that are not only family and friends. Heck yeah! Welcome to the HnH podcast. We're very excited to be with you here today. We would like to continue on from our last one, all of our turkey talk. From anyone who tuned in and listened to our last podcast, we just talked a lot about our turkey hunts we've been on and just different adventures and things we've had, different things we've experienced, and we just kind of want to continue on and add to that, as well as many other different things that we'll get into. But before we start, we have a new face here with us today, Carter. Carter, would you be willing to introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about you.
My name is Carter. Yeah, I'm Carter. I'm one of the many cousins in the family. Currently living in Cedar Hills, Utah, over by Lehigh. What else do you want to know about me?
Dude, what do you do? What do you do for work?
Oh yeah, that's
What do I do for work? I do construction, new home construction. I work in HVAC, so I'm doing heating and cooling. Mainly doing gas line installs. So, yeah.
Dang.
stuff I'm scared to touch.
Yeah. It's like
No,
we do a lot of
it's a lot of fun.
everything, but that's one thing we don't touch. Is that.
Yeah.
No, well that's awesome. That's awesome.
So what are your passions, Carter? What do you like doing?
My passions. Honestly, I love working. I enjoy what I do. I enjoy being able to be outside with what I do for work. But I also I just love the outdoors. I love hunting, fishing, camping, anything outdoors.
Perfect.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
No, Carter was part of that death hike that Hunter, Colton, and Tracer and Carter did a couple years ago. I've heard
Yep.
Death hike is right.
plenty of stories about it, but
Right. Right before Tracer left on his mission, we did. Well, we'll have to get Tracer on when he gets back and go over that.
Yeah.
Because that was a fun trip. Crazy, but fun.
no, heck yeah. So, turkey hunt. We got turkey hunt coming up right now. I found out today, because me and Hunter were getting ready to put in for our tags, that we have to wait till March 7th before we can even purchase a turkey tag.
Yeah.
Which, I mean,
Really?
it's just a couple days away. But, yeah, we got to wait till the 7th before we can do that. So we're just going to wait till then before we put in.
Yeah.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But turkey hunt's just right around the corner. Starts next month.
Yep.
Well, if you think about it that way, holy crap.
Yeah.
I'm still looking outside saying, I'm not going to be able to walk on dry land the next month.
Yeah, no. I woke up to a little bit of snow today, but it's already gone. It was a pretty warm day, so
Yeah.
freaking Jared down in Texas woke up to some snow today, and
I mean, I went to PT this morning and it was just kind of windy, nothing crazy, and got home, showered, changed, getting ready to go back to work, and opened up the front door to go to the car, and it is just snow blowing sideways. It was insane for down here.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And it was chilly today, and then we've been getting hammered with wind, so that definitely made it a lot worse.
Yeah.
Oh heck, dude, that's just ridiculous. I was looking at pictures from last year now, and we were outside in t-shirts, enjoying the weather. Actually getting ready for turkey hunt, not
Mhm.
thinking about the snow we're gonna have to trek through to get to them. But
No, shoot, I was looking at my Snap memories today, and the year before the shed closure, Hunter and I were out killing it.
Yeah.
So it was, yeah. I am missing that kind of weather, but I am excited for what the opportunities are here. It's going to be a little bit different than Colorado. So,
Yeah.
but did you guys hear about what Utah's proposing?
No.
oh,
So it's like a new thing as of today. It's a bill that kind of like they pushed through that trail camera ban during season. It's a new bill that will make lion hunting year round, no license, trapping, everything. You go and shoot a lion, you see it.
no license?
No license. I the way I read it, it said no license. I could be wrong, but if you put in for a tag there, I mean, you have a license. It's not that bad.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
yeah, it's got past whatever, and so now they're just waiting on whatever. I don't understand government that well, so that's what I know. But yeah, it's a bill that got passed, or not passed. It got proposed.
Yeah.
So which a lot of the big guys, like Shed Crazy, for instance, um, he's kind of against it because it's the government shouldn't be making these decisions. It should be the division.
Yeah.
So it would be nice for the deer herds, but there needs to be balance somehow.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, that's the news of the day.
Shoot, Hunter would be all over that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You best bet if that's for real, I'm gonna be in Utah.
gonna be running down those lions.
Yeah. Dude's doing something.
Oh heck yeah. So let's get into some more turkey hunting.
Perfect.
So Colton, you had a couple things you wanted to.
Yeah. So I'm gonna kind of direct these at Carter first because I want to learn from him. And we have a lot to learn from him, and he has a lot to learn from us as well. So I want to kind of talk about, first of all, why did you start turkey hunting?
Why did I start turkey hunting?
Mm-hmm.
That's a good question. Um, I don't know. I mean, I never really did think about or think to go turkey hunting until I got home off my mission, and I've got an uncle that he was gonna go turkey hunting. He invited me to go. I was fresh off my mission, and he invited me to go, and I tagged along with him, just kind of as, just kind of for fun. Like it's something different. It's not that fall time hunt, and it's just it's different. It's a lot of fun though.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Then all the rest of us, I mean, I kind of know your answers, but pipe in if you want to. But I mean, turkey hunting was just, it was the first thing I could kill, the biggest thing I could kill at the age I was. So I mean, Colorado, I know it's at least, or not at least, but I know eight's a good number. I don't know if that's the actual age or not, but um, so you could hunt birds from 8 all the way through. So it's one of the first animals you could hunt in Colorado. So that's something I want to do. So that's how I got into it. Was I was hunting already, so might as well at turkeys to the list. But
Yeah. No, I actually, so every hunting season, I feel like after the season's over, I'm good for a couple months, I of course want to hunt some more, but I'm not dying to.
well, you get worn out and just
Oh yeah, and once you get freaking lazy like me, dude, then the hiking around kicks your butt.
yeah. And then it doesn't even not stop at the kill. I mean, you're working on meat for
Oh
days,
yeah,
weeks, depending on how long you have.
working on the meat, working on the heads,
Oh
whatever.
shoot, my elk head's still not done.
Yeah, no, but come about February every year, that's when it starts to hit again, and I'm like, oh, dude, I need to get out and do something. I need to hunt, shed hunt, something. And that's kind of what got me into turkey hunting a bit was, I mean, you guys have been doing it, you Hunter, everyone else, but I was finally like, all right, I want to try this out. Oh man, took off from there. Absolutely love it.
Yeah. Um, unlike that guy, I always have the itch to kill something. It never leaves. Um, if there's a season that's open that I can go shoot something, I'm gonna do it. If I can go, any excuse to get out and hike around the woods is an excuse that I'm gonna take full advantage of. Um, and so like I in high school, I'd come out of sports and basketball season usually got over about February, beginning of March, and then as soon as that got over, I refused to do a spring sport, no matter how much my coaches tried to talk me into it. I refused because I knew that it was time to kill birds, and it was time to
My
find.
chance.
And
Yeah.
so, I mean, I've been addicted to the thunder chicken ever since I moved to Colorado. The first gobble I heard, I freaked out. I mean, that's probably one of the biggest smiles I've ever had on my face. It's just such a unique noise, and it's like the way that I've heard a lot of people describe it is it's the closest thing to a bugle that a bird will ever make. And so, like, if I can go chase something that bugles for a bird, by golly, I'm gonna do it, and I'm gonna go out there and make the most out of every season. And so, yeah, that's kind of how I fell in love with turkey hunting. It's one of my favorite seasons of the year, just because it's good weather and just it's the closest thing to getting to an elk bugle is listening to a turkey gobble.
Mhm.
Here, here.
I mean, for me at least, I'm just gonna kind of piggyback off Colton on this one. Like, first tag you could get, first actual season. Like, all right, I want to do it. Like my grandpa had been taking me out since I was knee high to a grasshopper, so I always like grew up with turkey hunting. Like, all right, it's finally my turn. Let's go. And so, it's piggybacking. Like I said, first tag, so I was really excited for it.
Mhm.
One of those hunts where it's not like super serious. That's another reason I love. I'm gonna go mess around. You could go shed hunt, carry your shotgun just in case, whatever the case may be. And it's not like serious like when you're chasing deer or elk.
Mhm. Yeah, for
So,
sure.
so tell me this, because I really don't know. All the states I've lived in are completely different. When can you start turkey hunting, age wise? We'll say Colorado because that's where you both have been talking about.
So what I've always thought, I thought there was like you could start turkey hunting at 8, but I don't know. I'm not little anymore, so I haven't really read up on the regs because I don't have
There's
that.
Yeah,
no minimum age to hunt turkeys
heck yeah.
in Colorado.
Boom.
Sorry, I finally brought my computer so I could answer some of these questions. Because, like you were saying, I really don't know. I just know that as soon as you have your hunter safety, or you can have those 2 years now of mentorship,
Mhm.
you can start hunting birds. So Talon's been slaying birds for forever. I
Yeah.
mean, he's only 12 this year, and he's killed almost as many birds, if not more, than I have.
Yeah.
So,
About triple the amount of me.
but,
No, yeah, that's something I honestly didn't know. Our last podcast and today, you guys had mentioned that it's the first tag so you can get Colorado. So that was something I didn't know about and I'm gonna have to look more into. But because I know like Utah, at least when I was living there, you can't start hunting until you're 12, I think it is. And then Alaska, I think the 10 was the age limit.
Yeah.
And now Colorado, yeah.
well, 12 is the
Yeah,
age
yeah,
range, but
for big game and all that, but no, that's awesome.
yeah, go ahead and throw one of yours out because mine will tie into yours, Caden.
No. So here's one I've got for everyone. Answer if you want. If you don't want to, it's what it is. So, what decoys should I use and when should I use them?
I'm gonna go first because I'm a very unorthodox turkey hunter. I don't use
but
decoys.
let me preface that. This kid will kill a bird if there's a bird to kill.
Yeah.
So
I am not to toot my own horn, but I'm a pretty successful turkey hunter. If I hear a gobble, you best bet that I'm gonna chase that gobble down. But
So, before you continue, maybe you and Jared should talk about that time you and Talon doubled up.
okay. Um, so that would have been, I think that was the first turkey I ever killed. That
Yeah.
was,
solid double first.
yeah. So that was a while back. We went out. I think it was me, Colton, and James went out hunting.
And Talon.
And no, Talon wasn't there
No,
because
we
we went
went and
out
picked him up.
we went to a
Oh, yeah,
spot
yeah, you're right.
years
You're right.
ago looking for birds. And then I think Jared called Colton and said that he had longbeards at one of these spots that he had permission. And so we hauled butt. And on our way to the spot, we pretty much passed right by Colton's house. And so Colton called his parents. They got Talon out of bed. Talon got changed. We picked up Talon. We hauled butt up to Jared. We get up there. We get set up. I'm set up with my 12 gauge. Talon's set up with a 20 gauge. And these birds, they're probably like 50, 60 yards away. Colton's doing his little chirping, like working his stuff. I think it's the coolest thing ever because I've never really been a part of this before. He's doing that. The birds come in to like 45, 50 yards ish. And Colton's telling Talon to wait because Talon has a 20 gauge. And that's too far for a 20
Colton
gauge to
was
kill
in
a
the
turkey.
car. It was you, me, and Talon.
No, yeah, that was Jared.
Jared was telling Talon to wait because these birds are far. Like I wasn't even going to shoot with a 12 gauge, and Talon had a 20. And so we're sitting there, and then I don't know what went through Talon's head, but he decided that was close enough. And so Talon just shoots, and he folds this long beard, just doesn't move at all, doesn't even flop. The bird just falls. And then the Tom that was with that Tom, it takes off, and Jared just tells me to go. And so I stand up, I have my gun in my hand, and I just start booking it. Like I am chasing this bird down, and it's running down the edge of the field and then cuts into the trees. And I'm just chasing it, going right after it. I cut into the trees right where it went. There's a little hill, and then it cuts over to the other property, which is another field. And I'm like, I got to beat the bird to that fence line, or else I'm not going to be able to kill this bird. And so I just mob straight down the hill. I'm hauling cheeks. I'm jumping sagebrush, ducking under cedar trees, doing the whole 9 yards. I get all the way down to the fence line. I turn around, and that bird is like 5 feet from me, and I am between it and the fence line. I pull up, boom, shoot him right in the noggin, just like you want to, fold him. All I hear is Jared hooting and hollering from up on top of the hill. I grab that bird, I pack it up the hill. Talon's over there getting his bird all posed up, ready to go. I'm freaking just strutting, just carrying my bird like, yeah, I did that.
Yeah.
And Jared, you go.
All right. So like kind of like backtracking to how it all started. Like I was out with my cousin. It was the last day of season, and so like we went to this one spot. We had 15 birds coming in, and something happened. They turned, and we had my cousin's son, who he was like 2 or 3 at the time. He was little. How kids are, they like to move around and be noisy, and he did good for the most part, but the birds never came in, so we went and checked this spot. He's like, man, I'm good. I'll hold out. He wanted Republic land. Respect that. Just leave me here. I'm calling my buddy, so I call Colton up. I'm like, yeah, I got these 2 longbreeds. Come here right now. So they boogie on up, and so me, Hunter, Talon got set up behind this log, and how the birds were coming in. There's a tree between us and them, so that's when I told Talon like, hold up, wait, let him clear it. Clear it. He hammers it. We go taking off, kind of like what Hunter said. He just gone. Like I was trying my best, but this man moves. He got there in a hurry and that was probably favorite hunt by far for turkeys.
That was a good one.
It was.
All of us were there, which was awesome.
So, so piggyback off that, you were saying, Hunter?
Yeah, my
Oh, yeah. So so that's pretty much how I hunt turkeys. That's how I killed my first bird, and it worked. And so that's kind of how I've killed just about every bird since.
Do
We'll
you
go
kill the
out.
bird without busting up on it?
I've killed one bird without busting up on it. But other than that, it usually, because almost every bird I've killed, I've been with Colton and one of his younger
and
siblings.
me.
We go out, and Jared, but we'll go out trying to get the younger sibling a bird, and for some reason, it doesn't happen, and Colton just tells me to go. And so I'll just chase the birds down. And pretty much every time, Colton is doing something with his younger brother, and he just hears a gunshot from way up on the mountain. And then I come prancing down with this bird. And so, I mean, like, there's definitely better ways to do it. And if you like to have a more relaxed hunt, I definitely don't suggest doing it the way I do it. But I mean, God gifted me with some good legs, and so I use them, and it works. It works. I'll tell you what. I've got a lot of fans and a lot of beards that back up my stories.
So kind of answering it also, like I feel like I'm similar to Hunter, like nowhere near as fast and in shape and all that, but I can't call worth a darn. Don't know how to set up the decoy, so I just usually find them and just take off after them. So I've used them before, like with my grandpa and whatnot. I'm more of a run and gun. I can't sit there for too long, or I get too anxious or too cold.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, and I'm kind of the opposite. I've gotten to the point where I don't need to kill a bird as bad, so I'm going to do it my way. I'm going to sit my butt down, and I'm going to try to pull that long beard in. So it's fun when it works, but it doesn't work, and the success rates, when it comes down to it, if I want to kill a bird, running and gunning is the way to do it. So
But like, it also depends on who I'm hunting with. If it's like me or me and one of my other buddies, then we run and gun. But if I'm with Colton, I let him work his magic.
Yeah. Running and gunning is successful. But it's a lot of fun to sit down on decoys and listen to Colton talk to a group of birds because he talks dirty to them and they enjoy it, and then I enjoy listening to them enjoy it, and so it's a lot of fun.
Come here, sweet little baby.
Yep.
Let me show you a little something. Oh yeah, strutter real nice.
that was not to cut anyone off, but I was watching an elk hunting video last night, and this guy kept on explaining what this elk was saying to him, and this bark meant that he was saying, come here and show yourself. I'm like, dude, this is just so frustrating because my interpretation of what this elk is saying is not that. They kept on going on. It was like 5-10 minutes of this video of this guy saying, yeah, this elk was saying, he was like, oh, show yourself. I'm barking at you. I'm showing yourself. Which a bark is not usually show yourself. It's a I know something's off.
Kind of.
He ends up shooting that big bull, but it was frustrating because that bull is so stupid.
Sorry for getting off topic, but with Colton talking about barking, you remember when we got pinned by them elk for what, like 2 hours? Then they start barking.
In the wide open. Yeah, it was ridiculous. No, that was fun. But
So Carter, how about you?
Well, I'm not as experienced as all of you guys with turkey hunting. I've only ever been out 2 seasons, I think. So I'm still learning it, but um, I have done both. What you guys have said, I've gone and chased after them as soon as I hear them. But I've also tried sitting there and bringing them in. But I also haven't been successful either way. I haven't gotten one yet, but so personally, I don't know what I like
well,
better.
hunting in your area is a lot different than hunting in our area. Because I went, Hunter and I came down that one year. I think it was that first year.
Yeah. Yep.
And kind of going into my next question, what were you shooting that first year?
My first year I went, I had my bow. And that's probably why I wasn't successful. Because
I would say that's one of the reasons.
First year turkey hunting, I was trying to with a bow. So.
And yeah, no, it was. We talked about last time. A bow is so hard because there's just so much more that goes into it than just pulling up. Boom, you're dead. You know, you gotta draw, and he's gotta stay still long enough to sell your spot, and you gotta hit him right, or else you'll never find them. I've hit 2 or 3 birds that I know they're dead, but I could never find them. That's the last bird I shot with my bow. I was like, you know what, I'm done unless I'm going headshots. So I think that was one of the first hardships you brought on yourself. Was that first year was you're going just bow, and
Yeah.
And we had a lot of close calls that first year too.
Yeah, we did.
Not as many as close calls as we did hitting pine cones and whatnot, but no. I don't think we ever answered your question, Caden. Decoys, I've never had work right. So I've tried everything. I've tried cheap. I've tried top end. I have found that with a top end hen decoy, I can get responses from hens. I called in a hen last year to 5 yards. She just stood, and I got video of it. I'll have to find it and maybe post it with this episode. But she was strutting around my hen decoy and just clucking and purring, and she was pissed that hen was in her area. But I've never had it work for a gobbler. So.
No, I know. And it's just, something that I had thought about because I know we've set up decoys multiple times that I've been out, but it's always been off the roost and they always go the other way.
Yeah.
Whether that's the decoys, whether that's us, whether that's the fact that they just decided to go that way that morning, who knows? But I mean, I've talked to a lot of people that use decoys that it works, but I yet personally have been able to be successful with them.
Well, I'll backtrack one. The double I pulled with Cambry, the decoys worked. It pulled one of the toms out in front, and he was kind of working the decoys. And then the bird that Cambry shot, I think the decoys kind of calmed that bird down because we only have the single shot shotgun. I love my single shot. It's so fun. But we only had the single shot there. So she shot the bird, handed me the gun. I popped it out, put another one in, popped it in. And I think those decoys kept that bird that I shot around a little bit longer because those birds weren't freaking out. But other than that, I don't think they've worked great for us yet.
Yeah. Okay. So I'm pretty sure I already know some people's answers to this, but let's say you've got a Tom that's gobbling. Can't quite get him into range and he decides to take off. Are you going to chase him, wait on him, or find another bird?
I want Carter to answer this one first because I want to hear his answer.
Mm,
And this is 100% just what you guys think you would do. There's no right
There's no
answer
right or
to
wrong
this.
answer.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know. I'm kind of right in between going after him and just finding another bird.
Mm-hmm.
I went out a couple years ago and I had that situation where I had birds all around me. Like I hear them all around me. And I'd get one to get in pretty close to me, and like that situation that you're talking about, it takes off, and I decided a couple times to chase after him, but then other times I just was like, I can't get this thing to come in closer to me, so I find a different one. So I'm kind of right in between the two.
Heck yeah.
Well, and in your area, the area that we've hunted turkeys before in Utah, it's a different strategy. So for your area, Carter, that's exactly what I would do. I would, and that's how I killed my bird there. Was I heard a gobble, I got as close as I could, and then I let out a little chirp, and then he either saw me and took off before I could shoot him, or the one I ended up killing, I got the jump on him. But your area is thick, and it's thick patches of oak brush. Those birds hang out in, those reels hang out in. And how I killed my bird there was just keep on pushing and jumping birds because there's so many to choose. Not so many, but there's quite a few to choose from.
Yeah.
And one of the coolest things I learned there was you got to get as close as you can. You got to hear them spitting and drumming. So that's within 70 yards, you know. You got to hear them spitting and drumming before you plant your butt and get in their circle to pull them in. But that's definitely a hunt that we ought to all do sometime is go back and hunt those reels again because that's a fun hunt.
Heck yeah.
So for me, at least, it just depends on the situation. First week or two of season, I'll probably just let them walk because I really don't want to kill like right off the bat, but I also don't like waiting till May. I've always killed within the first 2-3 weeks, and so if it's like first weekend, first week, I'll probably just let them walk. But after that, I'm chasing.
Heck yeah. I don't even know if we need to hear hunters, but
He's
If he's talking, he's gone.
I'm
he made it
gone.
pretty clear.
Gone, bro.
No, one thing that I think it was it was just last year. The only day I was able to hunt, we went out in the morning and me and Colton went off on a hike one way, and Hunter and my dad waited for us. because they had some turkeys over here right on private that were waiting to come to public. And me and Colton went off somewhere else. And, I mean, if you've got someone else, you could, do what we tried doing, which could be effective, which we had a tom gobble not far from us at all. He kind of sneaked up on us. And so Colton stayed behind and kept chirping. And I just slowly kept creeping up.
We need to restart the story because it's the opening day blues for you, Caden, all over again.
Well, it was my opening day, so I mean, it makes sense.
But you were out doing your business and came back with to grab your gun. Did you take your gun?
No, because I was out, I went up the hill away from you guys because you guys were all watching turkeys down on the private, and I had to go, answer nature's call. I
That's
was up
something that's
there. I was up
common
on
in our
top of the
stories.
hill. I was up on top of the hill. They were off the side of the hill looking down into the canyon. And I was up on top, and up on top, turkeys started gobbling. I couldn't do anything at the moment, but once I could, I hauled butt down there and got them. And
No, nature calls, and it seems like it always puts you in the position to get into the animals.
yeah, most of the time I take my gun with me, but for some reason that time I didn't.
No, we chased that bird for a while, and
That's the one that got shot out from under us.
mm-hmm.
Okay, so I've got a question here that very much could have different answers from everyone. Might be the same, I don't know. So, what do you think is the biggest mistake that most turkey hunters make?
All right. um, based off experience, what I've seen, it's calling too loud, and not only that, but it's especially on the highly pressured Colorado land that we hunt. I don't use a box call anymore. It doesn't have the sound to me. So I use. In fact, I bought a high dollar slate and a couple other, diaphragms, and um, I think overcalling is really what does it. Is that you can go ahead and do it, Caden, just a wah 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 wah. And I think a lot of these older birds get aware of that, and they're like, nope, nope, I'm not going to that one. So that's a common calling, not mistake, but get some of these public land birds pulled. You got to use more clucks, more purrs, more softer calling, and you've got to kind of be in it for a long haul. There's a lot of times that I'll be sitting down and be like, "There's no birds." Start walking out, and I just didn't wait long enough. That bird was coming in, or I drive and I start looking back on where I came from, and there's a bird right there. I'm like, I just would have waited 10 more minutes. So if they're not committing, it's hard to sit and wait. But a lot of times that silent treatment will bring them in. So
What about you boys?
For me, like one thing, because I probably do it way too often for how much turkey hunting I've done, is chase too hard and pressure them like, oh, there they are, and got to go like right now, instead of wait and seeing if it plays out, see what their next move is. So like, I've done it so many times, and I think I'd learn, but I just get too excited hearing the gobbles and seeing them. I don't let them play into my hand. I just throw it away and go chase, and always somehow get skunked by them. Like I've had it work, but I've also ruined a lot of kills that I could have had by chasing too hard. I feel like last year's hunt when Colton and his wife were with me on that one property everyone goes to, where Talon got his cow this year. I'm almost like curious that you might have pushed too hard going up that hill.
Yes, I think he saw us. So it was one of those things that I don't think we pushed too hard. I think he just saw us and we just didn't have a good play on
Yeah,
that
I
bird.
think just like trying to see how everything pans out instead of going right off the bat. Because I feel like instead of chasing them down in that little drainage, if we just would have went around and went up top to begin with and let him come to me, would have been different.
Yeah. Yeah, the biggest issue we had with that bird is I think he saw us before we were able to make a
Yeah,
good play
because
on him. And that's the things that yeah, birds can see.
they can.
It's ridiculous.
So that's just my opinion. Is people making a play too early or too hard on them?
Yeah.
Yeah.
For me, you trying to use your bow your first time hunting.
Oh, that was a.
um, oh, go ahead.
No, I was just going to say that was when I showed up and he said, "All I have is my bow." I'm like, I should have brought my other shotgun. I should have had to use this shotgun. I was like, yeah, he feels comfortable with his bow. Let's just try it. And
Yeah.
I don't remember if we were able to get in on. Well, we did. We had a couple of close calls with birds in the thick stuff, didn't we?
Mm-hmm.
That you
Yeah.
couldn't kill because they're just. Yeah, I do remember. Yet now we had a lot of close calls in the thick stuff. That
Yeah, there was a couple close calls we had, but it was tough with the bow. It really was, especially in that area.
mm-hmm.
But I mean, all jokes aside, I mean, it is true you probably shouldn't use a bow your first time turkey hunting. But kind of piggyback off of what you said, Colton. Just being patient with. I've had experience where I I wasn't being patient. I decided, um, like I had a turkey pretty close to me, and I thought I was having him come in on me, and all of a sudden he was silent for a while, and I hear another one that's not too far away from me, a different one wasn't too far away from me, and I decide at that time I'm like I'm gonna leave this one, go for the one that I hear, not being patient, and as soon as I turned around, that one that was silent for a minute, he was literally probably 20 yards behind me. So I stop right there and I turn around and I actually see him coming right up to me. So just trying to be patient with it, not making too quick of a move.
Well, shoot, we did that same thing when we were there with you. We're setting the roost on the evening, or what we thought to be the roost, and the hen flew up really early. She came by and flew up really early. And so we were like, well, maybe that's it. And as soon as we peeked over the ridge, there was the rest of the flock. And long story short, we didn't get a shot off those. But,
About you, Hunter?
I think there's a fine line between being too aggressive and being like too passive. Because like you with turkeys, I at least in what like my personal experience, you've got to get within a certain distance before they're gonna hear you and like even be somewhat interested in wanting to come towards you. Because turkeys are stubborn animals. They're very stubborn. When they want to do something, they're gonna do it. Um, and so like you gotta find that line between not being aggressive enough, but also being too aggressive, because all it takes is the slightest bit of movement, and the turkey is not going to like it, and they're going to leave. And so you have to get within a certain distance without being seen, and then sweet talk them. And so it's just a fine line. And I mean, it all just depends on like how pushed for time you are in your hunting. Because if you're not pushed for time, then just you got the turkey season's not short. Like you got a lot of time to try to get it done. And so it all just depends on how pressed you are for getting a turkey, honestly.
Yeah. I was thinking, kind of piggybacks off yours a little bit. A lot like elk hunting, you got to be smart about the way you call. I think there's a lot of people that call too much at times. And I mean,
Well, again, it's just like we were saying earlier. It's the same call.
yeah, you
So
get
they're
too
not trying
much.
to learn the language. They're just throwing out a call.
Yeah. I know my first year going out at the start of the season, or my first year hunting in the rut, I had a hard time because I kept trying to do all these big, mature bull bugles, trying to do the same exact bugle every time. And that's not going to do it. It might get a response the first time, but after that, like that bull's going to wise up. If he's a smaller bull, he's not going to come in. You have to have a variety of the calling you're doing, and you have to know when to shut up. Sometimes the best thing to do is to not call. Let the bull get curious. Let the turkey get curious and come in and be like, hey, I know there was a hen around here. And I mean, I've been trying to catcall her a little bit, but she's not coming in. Where the hell is she? But that's something that I've always thought was a big mistake that people hunting could honestly do quite a bit. And it probably happens a lot more than we know.
Yeah.
I do want to. So I'm kind of piggybacking off of hunters. I mean, like I said, I've always killed first 2 3 weeks. So last year was the first time I've ever been pressed for time with turkeys. Like I had the last 4 days of season to make it happen. So I was just running and gunning everything I saw. And so that time factor has a huge play, I think.
Well, and I think that's the most. I think if you're going to look at the odds, and just kind of draw it all together, if you're going to look at the odds, if you're not a good caller, don't call.
Mm-hmm.
If you are a good caller, it's sometimes there isn't a time to call. And the biggest advice I have for anybody is listen to the turkeys.
Yep.
Listen to what they respond to. Because a lot of times it's not the rah, 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 rah. It's the little clucks, purrs. It's the little stuff that makes it sound more like a turkey. And if you get in on a flock of turkeys, you never hear it. You rarely hear them chirping, but you always hear the purring. Yeah, almost always anyway. But if you want to kill a turkey, your best bet is to make it happen.
Mm-hmm.
And carry a shotgun.
But like another thing about that though is that there is running and gunning does work, but there's a little bit of strategy behind it. Because I guarantee.
Well, I want you to talk about specifically because I'm betting you're going that way anyway. But that bird that you killed, that Talon and I bumped, or he missed the bird.
Yeah.
I want you to tell me how you killed that bird.
Okay. So there is quite a bit of strategy that goes into the way that I run and gun. Because I know for a fact a turkey has more endurance than me, and so you can't just pick up your gun and just sprint at them. That's not gonna work because they're not gonna stop. Once they see you, they're gone, and they're gonna go for a ways, and they like to go up. They don't really like to go down, and so the way that I do it with this hunt specifically with Talon He missed the bird. It took off, but it was still, it's still horny. It's a horny bird. He's gonna light up. He's gonna gobble. And so he would gobble every now and again. And I am not a caller. I don't know how to call. And so I did not throw a chirp at him, nothing, not a single time. But every time he lit up, I knew where he was. And so I used the cedar trees and sagebrush to my advantage. And I worked my way up the hill, got around to the side of him. That gave me the best opportunity to peek up over the hill onto the little flat that they were on. And so I worked my way around. I did this pretty quick because it's getting dark and they're getting to the roost. But then he threw out one last gobble, and I knew I was within like that 75 to 100-yard mark. And so that's when I picked a tree out that I figured was between me and him. Like, I wasn't positive, but I was pretty positive. And I stood up and I just walked a straight line at him. And then as soon as I got to that tree, I pulled my gun up to my shoulder. I pretty much just about jumped out from the tree, kind of like Call of Duty status, you got to jump out of there. Jumped out of that tree. Every turkey, when they think they see something, they pick their head straight up and they stand up really tall. I saw him pick his head straight up and stand up really tall. I put the bead right on his noggin and I let him have it. And so, like, we say run and gun a lot, but at the same time, you're not really doing a whole lot of running and gunning. I mean, there is times, like that first story I told, that I ran as fast as I could, but there was strategy behind it. I was cutting him off from his exit point in that next field, and so it's hard because, like, I don't know. It's just weird because there is strategy. You can't chase a turkey down. I don't care who you are. You can be Usain Bolt. You're not going to chase a turkey down. Those little buggers are fast, and they can switch directions a lot faster than you. And you don't want to get your ankles broken on the mountain because you will landing practice, and that's going to hurt. And so there's just, I don't know. It's just kind of whatever you find that works. And for me, that's what works. For Colton, he really enjoys the calling part of it. And once you learn the language like him and James have been talking about, then you'll make it to where that works. And so it's just whatever you find that works for you, that's what you kind of want to stay with. Because you get these guys on YouTube and everything that this is the way to do it. If you don't do it this way, it's wrong. That's a bunch of BS. All right. We are just a bunch of group of guys that know how to kill stuff, and it is not the way that you see these people do it in the movies. I mean, sometimes it is. Sometimes we get lucky. We find something that's bedded down. We put a stock on it. We set up. We have the time. We take the shot. But a lot of the time, that's just not how it goes. And so it's just finding what works for you and making the most of it. And having fun while you're doing it. If you're not having fun, then you're doing something wrong. Okay? So we absolutely love the time of the year that we get to spend in the mountains. And that's the best memories that I have, is the fun times that we have together on the mountains. That's the main reason I look forward to hunting season every year, is just for the happy, fun times. And so, I mean, I've been kind of rambling, but boom.
Hey, no, you're good,
No,
dude.
you just dropped the nuggets, dude. You hit it all on the head.
Heck yeah. So Carter, why don't you tell us about some of your happy, fun times of turkey hunting?
My happy fun times is finding pine cones and picking them up with sticks we find and whacking them across the field because we can't find any turkeys.
We've got a picture of Arthur with a pine cone right here. That thing is as big as his head.
Yeah.
It's pretty freaking big.
Don't you still? He still has it, doesn't he?
Dude, and I have mine. It's down in in our bathroom right now as decor. My wife let me put it there.
Heck yeah.
That's awesome. My happy fun times turkey hunting. Honestly, like I said, I haven't been successful.
But
even though I haven't been,
you haven't killed a bird.
Exactly. The success is getting out being in the mountains. That's how it is turkey hunting. That's how it is anytime you're hunting anything. Just being out in the mountains, there's something different about it that you really appreciate the times that you have being in the mountains, no matter what you're doing. So
100%. So I'm going to throw a question out there, and this is just a pretty short answer, and it'll go some fun places. But what's your favorite logical locator call? And what's your favorite crazy locator call that's worked before?
I can go first if you want. Raise your
Yep.
hand. So I got three. My two favorite logical locator calls is a crow call. That's pretty much your like generic locator call, and then also a goose honk. If you can let out a loud goose honk, turkeys will gobble back every time. But those are your two logical, and my favorite is one that me and my boy Tracer used to do, and we'd let out a big old sheesh. All right, if anybody knows what that is, it's just pretty much screaming as loud as you can. Sheesh! And we would do
And
that.
I can't tell you how well
We
that
do that,
works.
and the turkeys gobble. I mean, it's just how it is, you know?
No, that's the exact example I was thinking of.
Yep.
So you guys just, especially these birds on the road that we just want to hear gobble,
Yeah.
You both stick your heads out the window, go, sheesh, and those things just go crazy.
Works every time.
Oh, no, and I, like Hunter was saying, anything loud, um, most of the time I'll just go crazy with the call. Like, stupid crazy. And Shroud clucks, purrs, lots of clucks. Because it's kind of a shock, is what they call it, shock gobble. Um, so for my more logical, I know they're on the roost. I know it's more of an evening thing. I'll just cluck, 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 and just get them to fire off without trying to scare them. I've tried coyote howls; they don't work very well. I have seen the goose work well, but for me, just the regular turkey. Or I can try doing the gobble that Hunter did um, at the beginning of the episode. But
Oh, heck yeah. Oh, go ahead,
I don't
Jared.
even own a single call. I'll be real. I do not own a single call. So I know like the crow calls work and everything, but like I'm screwing around like whatever, and I'll see if I could get a shot gobble. I'll just rip out just a regular gobble with my mouth, just, and it's worked numerous times. I'm like, okay, there they are. But so I know crows work. I used to have a crow call. I don't know what happened to it, but yeah.
that's all I need.
Shoot, I've honked my horn. Like leaving, I'll honk my horn.
It's
Oh,
true.
there they are. Let's go try to get sun.
Oh, yeah. I was, it wasn't during turkey. Well, it was during season, but I wasn't hunting at the time. I was up at school in Idaho, but I was out with a couple of my buddies and just messing around, and we were out there, and I had tripped on something while we were hiking around. Tripped on something. Son of a cuss loud, and all of a sudden, from down the ridge from us, you. I was like, "Oh, freak!"
That's awesome.
Oh man.
What about you, Carter? You use any at all? Or?
haven't had any crazy things like that happen, no, but I've always just used a crow call, and it's always been successful for me. So
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
We'll get some crazy ones in this year, Carter.
yeah, for sure.
Maybe convince Hunter to come down on one of his weeks off, and we'll go real crazy.
Oh man, I'll go as crazy as you want.
Oh, heck yeah. No, this is hunting in general we're passionate about, but turkey hunting is definitely one that really we all have very much in common.
Yeah.
It's one that's brought us all closer together. It's one that we know we're going to continue doing every year that we can, at least. I know Jared's going to be heading out here next month or the month after.
Got a couple weekends of scouting and then game time.
Brick, yeah. Me and Hunter are going to be heading out here in May. Try and get one, and Hunter will probably start before me, but
Yeah.
that's when
We'll
I'll
probably have a bird dead by the time you show up.
hope so. But no, I know
Like
we've
Art,
all got plans for turkey hunting this year.
you're
Honestly,
getting a
there's
Utah tag, aren't you, Carter?
Yeah, I am, and planning on. So my wife's in hunter safety right now. She's never hunted before, but she really wants to. So we're gonna see if we can get her a turkey this year as well.
heck yeah.
That'd be awesome. So, and I'll sneak up whenever I can. We'll get as much as we can on film for all of us. I know Jared's gonna try self film or whatnot, and
Shoot. I should get a GoPro. Throw a GoPro on my thing.
that's what Cade and I were talking about. Is especially for you, Hunter, the way you hunt, GoPro footage
So
would be
one thing
amazing.
I do not like about GoPros, I had one mounted on my scope when I went up to deer camp with you guys the one year, and just like I was reviewing footage because I got on that buck Hunter killed that year before he killed it, and so I was looking at the footage and everything. Like you can't see crap. Like I don't know if it was just the older style since that's been what 4 or 5 years ago.
The new styles are
They're pretty
phenomenal.
crazy.
Okay.
I've seen a lot of the THP stuff is off the
Okay.
newer GoPros. But no, they're awesome, and for turkey hunting, that's all you'll
Yeah.
need.
Oh yeah.
Anything over 100 yards that, or even 60 yards, is still harder to see on the GoPro. But
Kidding me, dude? I'm gonna be bombing them. 250 with my bow.
might as well. But
No, heck yeah. We'll have to see what we can do about getting some videos, and I mean, if I need to, I can make some trips too. Come film for people.
heck yeah.
No, but I mean, it's going to be a good year. Let's see if we can get everyone tagged out this year.
Mm-hmm. No, it'll be fun, but I'm surprised you guys haven't noticed anything yet. There's something new on this podcast.
It's Carter. I
Anybody
already
notice
talked
anything
about
new?
that at the start of this.
What was that?
I said it's Carter. I already talked about that at the start of this.
Oh. No, Caden's having something on his head.
No, yeah. As I mentioned last time, but I got them done now. We've got some hats in. So definitely anyone who wants one, hit us up. This is that 7-panel one that I showed last time, but they've got the patches on them now. I mean, we've got the OG one, which everyone else is rocking, which I usually do. Blaze orange, because, majority of the hunts we do require that.
Mm-hmm. Except turkey.
Except turkey. And because we also include turkey hunts, we have this amazing turkey camo one.
Might need to bring
How
it for a New
convenient.
Mexico hunt.
How convenient. Yes, I think that is required for a New Mexico hunt.
I think so.
And then we've got just straight black right now, too. This one's going in the mail tomorrow for our first orders that have been made. So, yeah, we've got hats, we've got shirts being designed right now. Hit us up if you want any of them. We'll let you know prices and we'll be more than happy to send them on your way.
Mm-hmm. For sure. And then, yeah, I mean, we're figuring this thing out a little bit. It's all done by hand. Caden did all those. So it's a learning curve, but we're learning a lot of things about it. It's
Yeah.
pretty cool.
Heck yeah. Yeah, and it'll just get better and better.
Yeah.
I mean, kind of like our podcasts have been. I feel like they've just been getting better and better.
Oh yeah, this was by far the most
Oh,
informative one we've had. So Hunter was laying down just gold nugget after gold nugget. I was like, I need to be taking notes of how he's doing this.
What I do, baby. It's what I do.
No, heck yeah.
I do have a question for, I guess, the other two that weren't on the podcast earlier this week. Hunter and Carter, what have you been consuming this week?
Consuming?
Yep. So I don't know if you've answered this question yet, but my two-part series, it comes from Jason and his podcast. What is it, Caden?
Dude, we should make a podcast.
Dude, we should make a podcast. So that's another shout out to him. He does some pretty cool work out there. But they came up with this thing of what are you consuming, and it's more of their stuff. So their TV shows, their whatever. Our take on it is one, what are you eating? Are you eating any game meat this week? Are you doing this and that? And two, what social media are you on, or YouTube series or whatever? What kind of hunting info are you getting on the week?
So, like, for example, last night, my wife was like, hey, let's make chef salad for dinner. Which, first off, why the freak would you eat salad for dinner? She knows that I am not a salad person. But you know what? I spice things up. Cook me up some nice venison. Dude, best chef salad I've ever had. I had like 3 pieces of lettuce and a whole crap ton of deer.
No, I did the same kind of thing last night. I started off by making hamburger helper, realized I had too much meat, too much elk. I was like, well, crap. I went and found some noodles, found some more spices. In the end of it, I have enough to feed the
well,
whole
heck
army.
yeah, bring some down.
Yeah.
But so I'm gonna freeze dry this stuff, and it's gonna be part of bear camp this year.
Heck
Heck
yeah,
yeah.
dude.
So
Heck yeah. So, Hunter and Carter, what have you been consuming?
Well, for those of you that know, I travel a lot for work. I do week on, week off in Texas. And so I don't consume the best food. Um, I I don't really have enough freezer space where I'm living at right now to hold the deer that I shot last year, and so I just sent that home with James because I knew that his family would be able to enjoy that a lot more. And so I'm slacking. I ain't been eating no elk or venison or nothing, but I don't know. I drink an ungodly amount of soda pop, and you know it's been keeping me going. I'm still here. I'm still kicking.
My man.
Yep, I'm doing my part. I promise. And then for like the social media side, I spend probably too much time on TikTok and Instagram. But my TikTok is just full of diesel trucks and duck hunting for the most part. And there's about nothing else I enjoy more than duck hunting and trucks. And so I get my duck hunting fix in via TikTok, and then I get to see all the people living up the dream, picking up sheds right now in the states that it's legal. And I just get to look at them, dream about it, keeping the passion going, making me kind of hate hate those people a little bit, but I go to church on Sunday and I repent of those things, so it's okay. But yeah, that's about it for me.
Yeah.
Well, sadly, I haven't had elk or venison in way too long. I haven't had it probably, honestly, since I've moved from Flagstaff, which was several years ago. So I haven't been eating game meat. Really hope that'll change this year, but we'll see. And I've been busy this week moving and working, so I haven't been on social media with hunting stuff or anything like that very much, but
Nothing wrong with that. Adulting always
yeah.
sucks.
Oh, it does.
No, Hunter, you gave me another shirt idea. Duck hunting and trucks.
Boom. About all you need in life. Well, that and soda pop.
And so
Amen.
the ideas are flowing right now.
Yep.
No, heck yeah. No, well, we appreciate everyone that's taking the time to listen to us ramble for the last hour plus. This is just the stuff that we're passionate about, and we're grateful to all those that continue to listen to us and continue to follow our adventures, with many, many more to come. We're glad that everyone was able to be on here with us this evening. Carter, thanks for joining us. We really, really hope that
Thank
you'll
you.
join us in the future more. Because, I mean,
Well, I plan on it.
as much as any of the rest of us, you're just as much part of this.
Yep.
Whether
Well,
your
I
wife,
want to hear. I want to hear all about how you and your wife doubled up on birds this spring. So,
Heck yeah.
Heck yeah.
Yeah.
and
No,
hopefully we can
I'm
get it on
excited.
film somehow.
Yeah.
no, yeah, but go check out our YouTube page, like and subscribe to all the stuff we've got. We've got plenty more to come, plenty more podcasts we've got planned. Go check out our Instagram page. Go check out Hunter.
Yep,
And
check them out.
Come on.
get him while he's still single. Hurry up before someone else does.
Yep.
Yeah, he'll be wifed up here by June. So
No.
okay, not wifed up, but same thing. You and Tracer's romance.
That's true.
It's
Right now I got the time for the ladies, but when my boy gets home, that time's going to be a little shorter.
So hop on it while you can.
Oh, heck yeah. But yeah, so hope everyone has a good week this coming week. And we look forward to next time.
Heck yeah.
Yep. Catch
Heck
up with
yeah.
the guys all later.
Sounds good. Y'all shoot straight.
Always.